Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout, week 2 of the weekend workout. We'll play with our strength, warm our joints, and ultimately we'll be working towards that handstand. We'll have fun. It's for fitness and function. Let's start with the basics. It starts with me and that foot warm up. Or maybe you liking, subscribing, Patreoning, all that jazz too. But let's do that last and first focus on the feet. Point those toes will be a common theme through our ballet and our handstand practice here. So get to those demi points, squeeze your standing leg bum cheek. Then go towards that tiptoe if that's allowed. And as allowed, then again, flex over. Safely cramp up that arch of your foot. Then move back towards those toes, and our hip extension or bum squeeze pushes the heel to the floor. Repeat on the other side. Balls of feet, all knuckleheads of those feet touch. And then probably just that tiptoe of the big toe. Then gently again, over if that's allowed, back to the balls of feet, and push the hip through. Repeat that one more time, but this time just stay on that demi point. Squeeze your standing leg so much you rise up to our first balance, and then bend the other leg, in this case it'd be my left. Then with a flat foot on the floor, push up through that standing leg, and then land with a nice straight knee. Do one more time here, and can we hold our first tiptoe balance again? Squeeze your butt cheeks, bring down that rib cage. Can you breathe underneath of your shield? And with patience, slowly bring the heels to the floor. Next, little knee bends here. Knee bend is in a squat, knees towards over toes. Lauren's up-down shape is fantastic there. Then let's press our hips all the way through. We'll do that once again, and this time we'll stay here, and can we also find those tiptoes? Then get back to the balls of feet, push the hips through, squeeze your buttocks, bring your rib cage down, and this time we'll go all the way to the floor in a similar pattern of our toe squat. Knees over toes, flat feet. Heels can lift to help us get a little bit lower. And then with the hands like me, or awesomely with Lauren, knees down, hips through. That's enough for my feet and my knees for now. Warm up those wrists, Lauren.
Oh, well, we have so much to do on our hands today, and it's very important that we warm them up. So let's extend them out in front of them, out in front of us, open them up wide. And before we go anywhere, let's try to rotate those elbow pits towards the ceiling, keep our shoulders down. And for 5 seconds, think about wrist extension, trying to pull the back of the hands towards you, pushing the palms away, and trying to get your fingers in the same line as your hands. For 3, 2, keep that position, hinge on your hips, fingers find the floor, callus line, and full palms. Once we're here, let's check back in with those fingers. They're nice and spread out, as they would be for our crawls and our handstands. Our shoulders are out of our ears, and we'll rotate those elbow pits or blood donations forward, really screwing the humerus in. It's so funny.
Ha, ha, ha.
Now, with all those hands and fingers heavy on the floor, from your pinky to your middle to your
thumb,
a ring to your index to your thumb, all of those you have. Grip the floor. Gently tuck your chin towards your chest, and then lightly extend your head, neck looking forward. Keep your shoulders down. Repeat that one more time. Make a double chin as you look towards the floor, and keep that chin lightly tucked as you do a little bit of extension forward. Next, come back to looking at the floor. Push your palms away, keeping your elbows straight, and flick your fingers, shaking that out. Next, we'll take our hands down and we'll face them to each other. Elbows are already straight as we go full fingers down. I like to pause there and then get my palms to the floor. With my fingers spread out nice and wide and my shoulders down, let's press the fingers into the floor, and that should send us the other way. So if I push my left fingers into the floor, I'll go to the right. And if I push my right fingers into the floor, I'll go to the left. This is very important once we get upside down in our handstands and as we progress those handstand skills throughout the next 4 weeks. With those elbows nice and straight and our nose looking at the floor, our nose is our pivot point, a light ear to shoulder, and then back to center and an ear to shoulder. As we do this one more time each side, it's not the neck moving, but it's the head that sits on top of our neck. So think ear to shoulder or jaw towards the front of the room. As you come back to center, keep the elbows straight, push the palms away, flick the fingers, shake that out. We have one more wrist for today. Let's come down to knuckles. So shoulders packed, elbows straight, land towards those peace sign knuckles. Once we're here, shoulders down. I'd rather you keep your shoulder exactly where it is and roll over on the hand and not get to the floor, but you didn't elevate your shoulder. Progress slowly getting that hand towards the floor, but again, prioritize a nice straight elbow and a shoulder pulled down out of your ear. Push that hand into the floor to push it back up. Strengthen the back of those wrists. Same thing other side. We'll be spending a lot of time on the palms of our hands, not on the other side. So use this time here to push into the floor and strengthen the opposite side. Last time each way as we go here. Can your pinky touch down, all your fingers and your thumb, elbow pit forward, shoulder down, press up. Last time other side. Roll over that hand a little bit harder maybe on one side. Push down to press up. Press the floor away, extending the hips.
And stand up quickly. Take some time off those hands. Sides of sit or toe squat up, Lauren. What do we do?
So with our toes tucked, we'll rock back. Let's find a balance. Hold. Now for a little ankle mobility, stay as low as you can, but put your heels down. Try to keep your spine fairly extended and then press through to tall. Shake
Excellent.
that out.
Shaking out. Building our body awareness and our balances, not just on our hand today, will always help that handstand practice. As Lauren said, check in on those wrists. It can be a lot of weight on that wrist extension. Take your time, build up that endurance, but also know when to maybe just sit back, have a sip of coffee, and watch and relax. We'll be going through a movement clock here. It takes us through, again, a little bit of space. So clear some room. First, let's pull up to this little flamingo stance here where we just check in with a little balance again. Root your foot. That's a similar theme for the hand. And now the movement clock piece is point a straight leg, land with the toe ball heel, pull that foot behind you to get the knee over toe, as Lauren's showing there, and then push forward to go back and then bring the feet back together. Let's go left, right, as we'll switch sides. So same thing, other side. In this moment, hide the daylight between your knees and point the leg. Land toe ball heel. Pull forward, and then I'll push towards the camera to move backwards. Switching legs, return to the middle, that knee front. Then open towards 10 and 2, straight to the knee, land toe ball heel, feel this pull energy together for stability, and push away for the power to return. Same thing, knee front, diagonal, point, land toe ball heel, the pulling action, the pushing action, and together. 9s and 3s is next, knee front, knee side, point, land toe ball heel and pull. Let's just pause here. Hike some hips a little bit. Little hip hike here, and then a little hip hike here. Find the middle. Then what about that post tuck or the tuck under? Yeah, that one right there. And then gently on account of the back, a tailbone tip. Find the middle of those places and then push away and return center. Same efforts to the other side. Knee front, knee side, point, land toe ball heel and pull. Hike, depress, hike. Feel a little bit of these John Travolta hips going on here. And then if that's John Travolta, maybe this is our Miley Cyrus. Get that little tuck under, a little twerk. But then push away, return middle. The back corners are my favorite. They start the same. Knee front, knee side. Now turn the head gently, turn the shoulders next, and land in that 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock position on a clock face. Are the hips level? Always check in. Come back on screen, Lauren, and push away and come underneath. Then knee front, knee side. Turn the head gently, shoulders to follow. Casually land, toe ball heel. Hip hike, hip level. Keep building that awareness. Push away and center. Lastly, Lauren's knee will stay in the same place. A little bit of a bum kick back. Then land toe ball heel. Feel that scissoring energy to help out in that single leg squat version. And then push through, connect the knee, stand tall. Last time other side. I know I'm going a little fast here, but there's just so much other fun stuff to get through. But I want to finish off that clock as we hinge and then push through. And I think we're going to get back to the floor.
I like a movement clock. It's just like, what am I going to do today? What am I doing?
You get to go everywhere. It's
How do I
helpful
do
for
that?
that pickleball skill too, maybe.
All right, until your next pickleball game, let's get our core fired up. We'll explore our first crawl of the day, which is our bear crawl. I'd like to get there by forward flexing or coming down through our forward fold. Either with your arms across your chest or T-Rex arms, gently pull your blades together, lightly tuck your chin. Our head neck just slightly curve forward. Our next thing to curve forward is that spine that's behind our chest. So think about keeping your shoulder blades together and trying to tie your shoes in an alleyway, look into your belly button, but keep your blades together. Up and over, try to round through the upper back, check in that it's not just your blades pulling forward. Slowly flex. Think about where your weight is and try to shift it a little bit more into the front of your foot than your heels. Once you're down here for the first time today, you can let those T-Rex arms go and just hang out. Stay an extra second, bend one knee, straighten the other. First forward fold of the day. See how it feels. And then slowly walk yourself forward out onto all fours here. All right. I'm giving you all a very fancy bowl of water, and you're going to put it on your back. Every drop is $1 million. With your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees out underneath your hips, let's not go anywhere. That bowl of water is on your back. Nothing changes in your spine. Pull the floor together underneath without moving. So pull your hands towards your knees like you're trying to ripple whatever flooring is underneath you. If you're on a carpet, you might be trying so hard you actually ripple that carpet or that area rug. For 3, you can hear me starting to quiver. 2, and then gently relax. Stay here, give that a little shake. Now let's try it again. Pull the floor together, this time without moving. Pull your right hand to your left hip and your left hand to your right hip. And pull in that X pattern, X-man tension. And then gently relax. Press the floor away, give those hands a little shake. We're trying to brace the core without flexing or rounding that spine, as well as creating tension but breathing underneath it. We'll add a little walk to this, starting first with our knees down and progressing towards knees up as we go. Right now, keep that tension in your core, then lift your opposite hand and knee. Don't spill the bowl of water. Take a baby step forward, land. Shift your weight, opposite hand and knee, baby step forward, land. Either continue with your knees down or hover your knees off the floor. As you take that step, really prioritize not shifting from side to side. Make it hard. Don't make it easy. That's lame.
Make it strict.
Take your time. Try not to tip from side to side. Breathe underneath. Once you've taken a couple steps forward, could you continue going the backwards direction? We're practicing not only core here, but we're practicing time on those hands, preparing ourselves for that handstand practice. Last one on each side. Hold a bear hover. Whew. Knees come down. Next, let's come back up via the forward fold. So our hips are lift, feet to hands or hands to feet. And then get back in your forwarded folded position as much as you can. Tuck your chin, blades together. Pull yourself up with the muscles on the front and the back of your spine.
And shake it out. We'll revisit one more movement clock variation today, and this time it'll be standing on the leg that does the standing leg that does the bending. So finish out, or start rather, nice and tall, lower back in just a second, and take that single leg out front on the bent leg. Then push through, finishing nice and tall. Repeating on the same leg now, it's a little bit more challenging, but take the leg towards that 10 or 2 position, and then extend through to finish back tall. Then out to the side, let's play with this again. Hip hike one, hip hike the other, little tuck, little tip, find the middle, and push through. And similar to a skate stride, push that leg out the back to that 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then through. And then lastly, behind. And we might get that little lean as Lauren is showing there, and that's okay. As long as the knees and the hips and the back feel okay with it. Same thing to the front. To the front, single leg squat, push the hips through, return. To the diagonal, very light tension on that leg out to the side, push the hip through. A little bit extra time here under tension as we hip hike 1, hip hike 2, little tuck cat, little tip cow, find the middle of all those places and through. And then to the back corner, stretch that leg and push through. And lastly, out the back, ribs to hips, dorsiflexion ankle, push through. It's that zoo exhibit again, I think. What's in store? What's next?
The elephant.
The elephant.
This time we'll come down via our hinge. So feet slightly wider than your hips. Take your hands, chop them back. Spine stays neutral. Hips are up higher than your knees for a second. Hang out here. Feel those hamstrings. Next, we'll tip forward. We'll place our hands down and readjust our feet to be more in our down dog or our A-frame-like shape here. Right now, I want you to bend your knees slightly and tip your tailbone towards the ceiling. So slight knee bend, tailbone tip. Keep that tailbone tip as you lift your hips up into the air. Your knees might not be able to straighten, that's okay. Prioritize that anterior shift in the hips over straight knees. Breathe. Stay here a second. Then let's rebend the knees coming down towards that bear hover. Tailbone tip, hips lift, slowly try to straighten. You could stay here, or we were starting some locomotion, so opposite hand and foot are taking that forward direction step. Where are your hips in space? As we have today practice, all of our versions of hips forward, backwards, side to side, try that tilt towards the ceiling. One more step in the forward direction, and then let's go backwards. Think about pushing the floor away using your hands. Palms leave, fingers flick. Try to lift that hand and foot at about the same time. 3, 2, gently bend those knees, walk your hands back via your hinge, and then press yourself through to Tolly Tall.
There are so many cues to share with even those simple movements like our crawls. And if you're looking at Lauren's hands, they were very much that fingertip, callous hand, very animalistic. And we can thank Luca Kircher from Hardstyle Montreal for sharing that little tidbit with us on how to really utilize the fingertips to the callus lines and then those hands. We'll be right back to those hands and maybe that first introductory handstand skill, that 3-point down dog. But until then, let's just open up into your squat stance and a little bit of a Chico weight transfer to start. So we'll pull ourselves down in our squat. As we stand up, pull those heels together, finish tall, adduct. Then pick up the foot, land toe ball heel, and repeat the same thing on the other side. And then pick up and find your comfortable squat stance, and this time, a single base of support. We can always regress back to 2 feet. Nice balance, Lauren. And then point and land. And our balance. And point and land and repeating again. And perhaps climb up towards the knee. If the knee comes high, the hip goes low, and then we straighten the leg and land and power and balance and climb and explore. And let's just do that one more time each. Regress if we need to. Progress as you're allowed. And then one more time each side again. So excuse me, last time this side. Stay here and then maybe find your balance. But one more time in the squat. And as a cue for our squat, push those knees to the back wall and then push your hips to the front wall and shake.
All right, let's progress to that elephant into a 3-point elephant. Well, that sounds wild. You're right. It is.
Very wild. Feral elephant.
Get those hairs back. Let's use our hinge and establish that elephant position again. Hip hinge, tailbone tips towards ceiling. Walk yourself forward, end up right away in that down dog with that anterior tip of the hips, gently pressing your heels towards the floor. First thing we'll do is we'll pull ourselves into a high plank. Hips will drop, butt cheeks will squeeze. Come back to that exercise we did at the bear by your pulling your hands towards your feet for 3, 2, tailbone lifts, hips lift, flick the floor away with one single leg. We have 3 points of contact on the floor right now. 3 points of contact on the floor right now. As we reach that leg to the back wall.
I was casually trying to blend that in the next rep.
Pull yourself forward into your plank again and hold for 3, 2, flick the floor away, lift the hips. Check in, are your hips square to the floor? Reach that long leg long up towards the ceiling. Pull yourself back through, plank hold for 3, 2, flick and lift. Hips square. It's not gonna look as high as that leg if you open your hips up. But let's keep those hips towards the floor. Pull through one more time each side. If we open our hips up in a handstand, we'll fall over. So stay square to the floor for 3, 2, pull yourself back to plank. Hold it one more time. Feel the weight distributed for all 5 fingers through your callus line, not just down through your wrists. Feel your abs brace, your butt cheeks squeeze. Then lift your hips. Walk your feet to your hands to your feet to end up in your hinge. Through or unfold to tall.
Oh my goodness.
And that's a 3-point elephant.
It's a nice progression towards that handstand. And again, it's all about that time under tension on the hands, the wrists, the shoulders. How are you feeling? Great. Write a comment. Let us know. It's always fun to hear from our participants.
I want more coffee.
I want more coffee too. That would taste really good right now. But until coffee time, Lauren, can you please show us your favorite way to get into that handstand?
No.
Watch first. No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. It's fun. So Lauren's favorite way to get in the handstand is a 3-point version. So her shoulders are over top of her wrists, and right away, practicing those baby airs. It is very quiet here. You might hear some of the dragon breath sneak in a little bit. Nice. And as you feel okay with those baby airs, challenge yourself towards that 3-point kick up. Excellent. Stay fresh. That might have been 5 to 7 reps there for Lauren. Pick a number that's slow or low. Check in with your shake. If that's Lauren's favorite, this is my favorite way to get on the handstand next.
So that was the tripod approach. This is the step in. We have our arms over our head. We take a single leg forward and propel ourselves up towards upside down. Again, you'll see that baby air starting here where that back foot just gets off the floor. We're telling our mind, it's okay. We can be on our hands. And then slowly progressing towards, wow, that went from a baby to like a teenager.
Yeah,
really
that was
quick.
a little bit incidental.
So find those partway places first. Control the up, control the down. Feel that weight. Try to always land back to that same place for now and avoid the over kick as you go from to the side, falling out of that handstand.
Nice. So let's start together with that 3-point position. Let's do it all together. Come on down, Lauren. You cue it. You're the master.
All right. I like to pull my pants up, tuck my shirt in, throw my hair back, open my hands on a nice flat surface of the ground. Again, feel all your fingers as well as that callus or knuckles on the floor. I stagger 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Before I go anywhere, I kind of shift my weight back like I imagine I'm a really good sprinter. And then I push my weight forward over top, stacking my elbows over my wrists and under my shoulders. Fingers are spread out. Let's kick off the floor and switch legs to land. Kick, switch. Kick, switch. Trying that a couple more times. If those switches are too wild for you, you can land with the same leg. We're just trying to build up strength on either side, getting a little bit more hang time as we go. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. And ultimately, we're just finding how much kick we need to get the old backside over the old head.
That's right. That's right. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
It's getting your backside over your head upside down. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. We'll take our time, we promise. I love those weight transfer squats as well as those moving clocks. And this one again, let's have some fun with it. Find your stance. To do that, maybe start with your feet touching like in that first position ballet, and then point to the side, landing toes and balls and heels. Pull yourself one way so one leg stays straight and the other bends. As a pretend thing, could you lift that foot off the floor? You might have to slide or scooch in just a little bit and create a little bit of movement in the hip, but not the back. Build that awareness as we go through. So we'll pull ourselves to the other side and the same thing, the hips to level. Maintain that turnout, either the karate style or ballet point, and then land toe ball heel. Pull across again. Pretend to lift. If the lift is successful, check that out, and then straighten your standing leg knee. Then bend on that ankle, accept the floor with the other foot, and then pull and push through. If you're hovering that leg, that's again, stand nice and tall, add that knee bend, pull through, and again, we can always regress and just spend some time here with our hip hikes and build that awareness. We could pretend or actually lift. We could stand nice and tall, and working on other balances like such toe raises that we'll try right here can be a nice addition to the handstand practice. Land with the heel, knee over toe, and pull. We need to work on those other balances because hands can't always take it. So we'll stretch and transfer weight to the balls of the feet the way Lauren mentioned in that forward fold. Hold for a second, return the heel to the ground. Let's spend just one more time in that lower squat and make a commitment to keep your hips tipped like a cow. That's anterior tip, knees towards the back wall, and then push your hips to the front wall. Shake and wiggle. That was prior to that movement. That was that tripod entry. Let's collectively try a little bit of a step in and start with the baby air to adolescent air to teenage air to full on.
What was after baby you said?
Adolescent? Adolescent?
Oh, adolescent.
Adolescent. Sorry, bad jokes early in the morning.
Toddler.
Toddler air. That sounds fun too. So to do that, I'll take my arms overhead and immediately my shoulders are elevated or shrugged, which we don't do in our kettlebell practice, but we do in our body weight practice here. Take a leg and point, accept the floor with the fingers, calluses, and hands, and a weight transfer, push through, and step back. Arms overhead, toe ball heel on the landing, weight transfer, and push the floor away. Shrug the shoulders, start low. Slow is hard, so momentum might help you a little bit, but if you can go slow, it's a way to help fill in those gaps and give your brain confidence that this is an okay movement for you. I'll be doing one more repetition here that takes us just to about our 6, and then down. Whew. And again, trying to always own the balance. Beautiful arms to dismount, Lauren.
Whew.
I've done a lot of those squats. Do you have any ideas to just break it up with a squat again to finish?
Yes and no.
Okay. Well.
It's not a squat, it's a lunge.
Oh, uh-oh. I know what's coming, I think.
Okay. Take a leg, step it back into a lunge position. We're in that drop back lunge position. Shoulders are square to the front of the room. Hips are square to the front of the room. Fairly vertical front shin. Let's just hold this high position for a second, feeling the scissors in the hips, front leg pulling in, back hip pushing forward. Pull yourself down, hang out at mid station and hold. Again, check in with those hips. Are we hiked? Or are we nice and level? Continue pulling, hover 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters above the floor, and then land softly. Next, let's push the floor forward and back and get to that hover position. Hold. Then get to that mid station. Hold. Then get to high station and hold. Now this time on the way down, could we pull that front heel up off the floor? Find mid station again and hold. Keep the heel lifted up. Find that hover position. Still keep pulling in that front leg and then soft landing, heel comes down. Pushing the floor forward and back, we'll stand up together. So push forward and back, up together. Shake that out. Same thing on the other side. Hot hips, step back, other leg. Up on the back toe, square, square. Pull yourself together. Keep pulling, find that mid station, hold. Hips are level, back knee is tucked. Staying on that back toe, keeping that vertical shin as we come down to that hover position just off the floor, and then soft landing. Adjust as you need to here. Check in with those hips. Oh, I'm a little hiked. I'm going to pull that down, and I'm going to try to hold that position as I then push forward and back to hold a hover. In your lunges, you have 2 legs. Use them both. Come to that mid station. Feel the tension into the floor. Come to that high station. Next, lift that front heel up. Hold. Then pulling yourself down. Slowly pause at mid. And then pause at hover bottom. And then knee down, heel down. Push forward and back, up together. Shake that out.
Apparently I chose the easy exercises to talk through because I was sure quivering, shivering, or feeling how much work just single repetitions or doubles, I guess, of those lunges could be. Find a way to make a low number of reps very challenging for you. Don't do 100. Just don't do 100. You don't need to do 100. Just do 1 or 2 really good reps.
Why
shake
do
it out
100 when you
and
do
recover.
2?
Yeah. I agree.
100 sips of coffee. Okay.
Ooh, coffee. It's
Wait,
almost that
focus,
time.
focus,
I am. You're
focus.
distracting me
Oh,
with
sorry.
the coffee comments, though. That just about concludes our practice today.
What?
But I think that we should try your favorite handstand entry one more set.
That sounds great.
Do with us this one more time today, and maybe practice that throughout the week 1 or 2 additional times on perhaps non-consecutive days.
Not 100 times.
Not 100. 1 or 2.
Lesson
Grease
learned.
that groove. So I'll be choosing my step in. Lauren will be choosing that tripod, I assume, and just have some fun. Keep that rep number to 5 or 7. And if you get upside down, like I know Lauren is going to try to by the end, celebrate that moment Own it with control. Yeah, fist pump it away. And then we'll shake it
Remember,
out.
if you don't want to practice your handstands or that tripod entry or the kick up, you can practice your plank holds. You can practice your elephant crawls. You can practice your bear crawls. Anything to just spend a little bit extra time on that wrist and your abs. You can sit and drink coffee, or you can practice a squat. Here we go. There's lots of options. In 3-ish, 2-ish. Let's go for a 30-second practice here.
Accepting that floor and trying to be quiet in the handstand pursuit. Because quiet in this case means efficient, and the less crash bang you have, the more control you're going to be ultimately. Take your time in each cadence rep and practice. Breathe, maintain integrity or control throughout. And what time did we start there, Lauren?
We have, it's over, but I want to do one more.
Do one more. Do one more. And then maybe one leads into 2. And finish with a great rep that gives you that encouragement to do it again. And shake. That's almost it for today's practice. I can finally say with a little bit more confidence, because we do like to finish the practice with that minute of craziness that sometimes is a 10-second hit, or sometimes it is very close to that minute. I'll be trying to hold my handstand for as long as I can towards that minute number. It's been some time, so we have to be patient as we build back up to that. Same thing for you as what Lauren said. Hang out in your squat, or planks, or bears, or crawls, or create with your own animal movement and share it with us as well. Last minute of fun. We'll be going in about 5 seconds. Have fun. Breathe. Coffee is coming so soon. 3, 2, 1, and up.
That was okay.
Nice.
That's better than
30
last
seconds.
week, so
30 seconds.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, me too. And shake it out. In a safe way, but in a done way, my wrists and arms are saying that's enough for today. Know your limit, play within it, and we love to see you back here next week for week 3 of 6 as we progress our handstands. Next week, maybe clear some space on a wall as we'll practice some of our wall climbs to, again, increase your body awareness and your time under tension. Anything else to add?
No.
Excellent. So again, this has been the weekend workout live on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. This completes our triad of live sessions in the week, and we reboot next week on Tuesdays with our kettlebell practice, working on 0 to 100 swings. On Thursdays, it's our bar. We press a kettlebell and we plie for that hip mobility. And then you're right here with us on Saturday. It'll be more of the same. Fun times with Ian
And
Lauren, and our bars and bells.
Until then, subscribe.
That's it.
Like.
Yes, please.
Check out our Patreon page. Check out our website. Check out all the thousands of videos on our YouTube.
1,400 to be.
And keep practicing your skills.
Excellent.
Take care, stay strong, and we'll train soon.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.